The world was sent into shockwaves with the introduction of COVID-19 earlier this year. And since then, there has been a lot of panic and a lot of confusion. Currently, the United States holds the most cases of COVID-19 and still continues to see numbers increase in certain regions of the country. Because of this unexpected pandemic that has blindsided the public, everybody has been struggling to adjust, including colleges, who are still trying to find a way to get students the proper education that they deserve through online and remote learning. Today we sit down with Rhonda, Sierra, and Aaliyah of SUNY New Paltz to get a better understanding of how the pandemic has affected their physical and mental well-being, as well as their schooling. The first question we asked them was what their initial impressions of the pandemic was.
I was a bit freaked out, I won't lie. I was worried and nervous. They're saying that people are dying, like pretty much as soon as they get it when we first heard about it. So I was freaked out. I thought maybe if I go out in public, that'll be it for me. But my mom works at Columbia in the Center for Infectious Disease, and she's been studying it this whole time. So as things have progressed, I've become less fearful of it.
My initial reaction was probably kind of like shock/denial, I guess. I didn't really truly believe it until it started coming home, basically. So then when we had to leave school and all, or leave our school, that is probably when I realized, wait, this is getting serious. It's getting once I had to go home, it was just too much.
At first, I thought, honestly, didn't take it that serious. I thought it was just kind of like the flu. It would pass and I can go on with my life. But once I actually got home and saw children in masks, adults in masks, and everybody's really far apart from each other, I thought, well, maybe I should start taking it serious. And then after that, I just thought okay, maybe a few months this will happen and then we could get back on to our happy lives. But then once it started progressing and people started dying rapidly, I was oh, well, I should start taking this more serious.
With in-person classes being kept to a minimum, we asked them about their experience with online courses.
I hate having online classes. Most of my classes are asynchronous, so I'm teaching myself everything, approximately. I only have one teacher that's doing Zoom classes, and I appreciate that the most because it gives structure to my life. I feel like I used to think that online classes would be great, but having this lack of structure and having to figure everything out for myself and having due dates all across the week for every different class, it's very overwhelming, and I'm tired of it. I hate it.
When I was at home taking class, it was honestly kind of easier, but now being back in New Paltz, it's kind of hard to focus. I don't honestly get out of bed until 4 in the afternoon. And the classes that I do have in the mornings, I'm literally laying in bed just listening to them. No actual work is getting through my brain. It's just pass a class to get the grade and then move on with your life. I just, all in all, has just been so lazy that it's probably ruining my health.
In regards to their physical well-being, we asked them if they have tried to implement a more healthy routine into their life and if it succeeded.
I think the lack of having a schedule and things in my life to go do made me even lazier than I already am. And so trying to create a schedule for myself out of nothing with nothing to really reinforce that made it feel impossible to have any semblance of a healthy schedule.
Yeah, my schedule is pretty messed up now because of COVID and these online classes. I barely get up on time to even have a day. But I tried to make plans to, just find an outlet somehow, exercise. We try to walk around this track in order to, just find some type of exercise. And I've also ordered some roller skates just to find an outlet for real, because at this point I really just have no outlet at this moment.
In order to prevent the spread of the disease, we've also asked them about what they do in their communities to help keep everyone safe.
I stayed home. I wore my mask. The only time I would go outside was to walk my dog. Besides that, I just stayed home. If I went to see people I knew, we would socially distance. We would have our masks on. We would get tested, all the things recommended, basically.
I would try to make sure that I kept track of my health as well as people around me. Obviously, go out, wear my mask, get tested, and try to follow all social distancing guidelines.
For me, it was just, I was more concerned about my grandparents' health than my own health. So me being safe for myself made them be safe. So I just honestly just stayed in the house.
Because COVID-19 has been a huge stressor for many people over the past several months, we wanted to get a better understanding about their mental well-being.
At first, when everything broke, I was very stressed out. I was very nervous about the way that the world was going to look. Like, it felt like the world was kind of ending for a moment because of how many people were dying, especially being in New York City where we had so many cases. It just felt like stepping outside was deadly.
I'm still a little uneasy when I think about the future and try to picture what that looks like. I feel like I kind of had like an image of what my future would look like before this virus, but with the virus, I don't know. The only thing that has really like shown some light at the end of the tunnel was unemployment, pandemic assistance, really. That was the only thing where I was like, wow, maybe there's a chance I might come out better at the end of this, but I still don't know.
Unfortunately for the United States and the entire world, COVID-19 is not going away anytime soon. So the students want to offer their best advice to those who are still struggling at this time.
Set a schedule early. Make sure you have a plan, because if you don't, you will fall victim to the laziness and you will just become like a lump in your house, and it's just not healthy. You have to be proactive about it because nobody will do it for you.
My advice would be to take whether it's COVID or whether it's going to be something else down the line, to take it seriously. I think that was a lot of people's main issue, was that we never really expected this to happen to us. So when it finally did happen, we were all like caught up in not knowing what to do. While there isn't no pandemic at your time, just enjoy yourself with your friends, your family. I just regretted not going out as much as I did and not hanging out with the people who I really wanted to hang out with. So just use your time wisely while you still have it.
Lastly, we asked them if there was anything else that they wanted to add, including any other experiences with COVID-19 or any other experiences regarding the rules and regulations set in by SUNY New Paltz.
I really feel like I'm missing out on just meeting new people from classes, from clubs, or just like on campus randomly. Like, I don't really feel like I talk to new people as much as I used to, or meet new people as much as I used to.
For me, I just feel like a cash cow, and that New Paltz just wanted me for my tuition just for this semester. One thing I do say about New Paltz is that they have been keeping up with the testing and making sure that we all as a whole get tested. And so like, I'm really grateful for that. I just think they can up their status a bit with like the cleanliness and like the food. Even with the like recycling the containers for hats, I don't think that's safe, me personally. But it is what it is at this point, and we're just gonna have to live through it.
Even though we know more about the coronavirus right now than we did back in March, there is still a lot of uncertainty and a lot of confusion as to whether or not the coronavirus pandemic is going to end 6 months from now or 6 years from now. But the main thing that we all have to keep in mind is that we need to stay optimistic and work together, because the more we do that, the closer we will be to going back to our normal lives. And everybody in the entire world, including the students at SUNY New Paltz, are optimistic that COVID-19 will soon come to an end.